Okay, so we will see what is the switch case. Okay, if you see the symbol is like switch, and each and every activity has their own description. If you, I'll just hold this mouse here like switch, and if you see, select one choice from a number of activities to execute based on the values of a given expression of the type specified in the object type specified, right? So what do you mean by that? Earlier session or earlier activity, if we consider the if block, or you can say if condition, so at that time we know we have two values, right? And that two value we need to compare with help of the comparison operator. But we know ki we have two values which we need to compare, which we need to execute, or which we need to multiply, which we need to you can say add, or which we need to minus it. Okay, but in switch case, just consider an example. If we are automating some data on the basis of my you can say date, or on the basis of some day. For an example, if I want to execute some conditions on Monday, if I want to execute some code or some case on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, then how we can handle that conditions, right? So here I know I want to execute these conditions like Monday to Saturday, but I don't know when as a input which day I need to handle, right? So in this case we can use switch case. If you see the symbol input, this is the input, and this is, you can say, multiple conditions, right? So I'll just double click on this switch, right? And if you see, we have one expression, and we have, this is like default value, and we have add new cases. Okay, so I'll just take the same example. So what I'll do, I'll create a simple variable here, like for example I'll just create var day. I'll just create a single var day, and the data type is equal to string, right? And here I'll just simple pass var day. This is my input value, right? Now I have just passed var day, it's showing me as an error, right? So what I need to do, I'll simple click on this, and I'll just simple click on this property. If you see, this type argument is an integer 32. What I need to do, because this input, this is the input value, right? And I'm assigning this into input value as a string. So that's what I need to do. I need to and here we have the integer 32. So what I need to do, I need to convert first this as a string. Now my error is gone away, right? Now what I am doing, this is my input value, so I am taking input from my user side, right? Earlier example which we have seen, there we have passed hard coded value like x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. That was the hard coded value. But if I don't know which value I need to handle, right? The value is come from any input form like Excel, PDF, or any other input form. Or if I am taking some value from the user side, that value I need to handle, right? So for that we have one more activity, it's called as the input dialog. Input dialog, when we use the input dialog activity, when I am taking input from user side, right? So for example, in this input dialog we have dialog title, so I'll just mention enter the day. Okay, same I'll just mention, or I just put the same here as well, input label. Now input type, this is the string value, Monday, Tuesday, it's a string. That's what here I'll just mention as a text box only. There are, we have multiple choice and the text box, so here I'll just choose input box. Okay, and here we have created one variable, right, var day. So same var day I'll pass here as an input. Now whichever value user is passing, that value is stored inside this variable, and that variable is used inside the switch condition. Okay, for example, if I'll execute this, we'll see how this input dialog will shown to us. Okay, see, Now if you see input dialog, see enter the day, that means this is the dialog title, this is the dialog enter the day. Enter the day, again this is the enter the day, this is the text box. Input type is equal to text box, this is the text box. Now whichever value, for example I'll push Monday, whichever value I have passed through this text box, now I have used this var day, that means inside this var day, in this variable, that Monday will assign. Okay, in switch case I need to handle this condition. Now user will send any value, right? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever, right? How we can handle that value, right? So in this switch case, if you see add new case and default. So here what I need to do, I simple click on this add new. If you see case value, so inside this case value I'll simply put Monday, right? Monday, that means I have created Monday's case, and inside this Monday case I'll just use simple message box. Okay, and inside this message box I'll use like I am Monday, right? Similar way here I'll use TUES day, and again I'll just pass message box as a Tuesday. Now in automation perspective, when we can use this switch case, I am Tuesday. Okay, if this is fine, this is like Monday to Sunday, like 7 cases we need to handle in the automation. For example, I don't know what or which input I need to handle, but I know the range of that input basically. For example, if I want to handle the 30 days, or you can say particular April date, or you can say January month date. Again, if I want to handle the January month date, again I need to create 30 cases, right? Then in short, if I want to conclude this, if I want to handle multiple input in a simple or in a single activity, then we can use switch case, right? We'll see like Monday, Tuesday, and directly I'll use Sunday. You can put as many as cases. Okay, and here I'll use the message box, and here I'll simply use I am Sunday, right? Now if I'll execute this, right, if I'll execute this, and if I'll use MONDAY Monday, okay, see I am Monday, right? Similar way, now we have default as well, right? If user is sending value and which cases which we have mentioned or which I have written, if we get the correct input, then appropriate condition will execute. But if user send any inappropriate result, and if you want to handle that, so we have the default value. So here I'll just mention input data is not correct, right? Correct. And if I'll execute this, okay, and if I'll pass some April month like that, some random value I have passed, like, right, and if I'll click on the OK, now if you see input data is not correct. So in this way, this switch condition is very important when we used, or when we need to, when we deal with the multiple or multiple cases or many cases. If we want to handle that time, we can use switch case.